So I recently watched a classic thriller by Alfred Hitchcock, possibly his most well-known film, and one that has since shaped how movies are made and has been parodied countless times. Oh, but before that, I watched a shot-for-shot remake that did pretty much everything the same. So today I'm going to be talking about the differences between the two, why I even did this, and what I liked about each film. So, for those who are unaware, in 1998, director Gus Van Sant made a near shot for shot remake of the 1960 thriller Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. After the success of perhaps his most well known film, Good Will Hunting, Universal Pictures gave him the green light for the remake of Psycho, despite some reservations by their head of production at the time, who said that the idea of remaking a classic like Psycho just seemed like a dangerous business to get into. There were some minor changes to the film that we'll discuss, but for the most part, the film was shot for shot and line for line, exact same one-to-one remake. It ultimately bombed, only making $37 million on its $25 million budget, and it received negative reviews from critics who criticized the similarities to the original film. Despite its failure and never having really received much of a cult status or a reassessment, I still think it's a very unique film worth discussing, and to this day, both the 1998 Psycho and the 1960 Psycho are probably the two most similar films ever made by different directors. We'll be going into spoilers for both films, so I recommend watching both versions before you see this video if you haven't already. And if you enjoy this video, please do give it a like and drop a comment below what your thoughts are on the 1998 remake. So before I get into what I liked and didn't like about the two films, I just wanted to go over the main differences between them, as there are a few. The 1998 version is updated to be set in the current day rather than in 1960. So the amount of cash that Marion steals is changed from $40,000 to $400,000.
I'm buying this house for my baby's wedding present. $40,000 cash.
You know, I'm buying this house as a wedding present for my baby. Now, that's not buying happiness. That's buying off unhappiness, see? Yes, sir. $400,000 cash.
The violence in the 1998 version is also more explicit, with visible stab wounds and more blood being shown than in the original. Possibly the most well-known or infamous difference between the two is that when Norman spies on Marion undressing, in the remake it's implied that he masturbates while watching her, whereas in the original he just simply watches her. And the last difference of note is that there is surreal and subliminal imagery that's inserted into the murder sequences in the 1998 version, whereas you don't see that in the 1960. Apart from that, the script and the shots are essentially left unchanged. There are some minor tweaks here and there, but they still align with the original vision of the 1960 film. An example of this is the opening shot being a single shot moving into the apartment rather than several dissolves, due to the difficulty of executing a shot like that back then. Now, why did I do this? Why did I watch the 1998 version before the 1960? The reason is because I wanted to use myself as a little guinea pig for this experiment and see if I would end up liking the remake more by watching it first before seeing the original. I think by watching the 1998 version before the 1960 original, I would be more open to it. And I had an idea for a whole video that I ended up scrapping, where I discussed the idea that the more movies you watch, the less you enjoy them, because everything becomes less original and novel to you. So this was a way of testing out that idea. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what I preferred about the original 1960 version. What did I think that it did better? The biggest thing for me was Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates. Between him and Vince Vaughn, it's night and day with the delivery of the lines. I think Perkins' version of Norman is so much better executed as this nervous, shy mama's boy. You don't really suspect him or find him weird until the film progresses and we learn more about him. But with Vince Vaughn's performance, I found him to be a weirdo as soon as we met him in like the very first scene.
There's no sense dwelling on our losses. We just keep on lighting the lights and following the formalities. Your home address? Oh, just the town will do.
But it's no use in dwelling on our losses. No, we just keep on lighting the lights and following the formalities. And your home address. Town will do.
One other difference is that the 1960 version is a quieter film, which I preferred. In the 1998 version, there's a lot more music played during scenes, and I feel like it ruins them, especially when they have dialogue. So I genuinely felt at points that there was an error with the copy of the film that I had or something, because it was difficult to hear the dialogue over the music. It didn't seem to flow or just be playing at points that felt right in the movie.
Now, to understand it the way I understood it, hearing it from the mother, that is, from the mother half of Norman's mind, you have to go back 10 years.
To understand it as I understood it, hearing it from the mother, that was the mother half of Norman's mind, you have to go back 10 years, the time when Norman murdered his mother and her lover.
Now, what did I think that the 1998 version did better? What did I prefer from this one? I think where this version excelled were the high-tension moments, and specifically the final act of the movie. The 1960 version feels a lot more dated in that it ends these scenes and sequences as quickly as they can, whereas the 1998 version feels like they build up to them more and allow the camera to linger a little bit. An example of this is the reveal of Mother at the end of the film. It just feels more tense than in the original to me personally.
Mrs. Bates. Mrs. Bates?
I also preferred the more explicit violence in the 1998 version. I think it balances being more vicious than the original without going over the top or feeling extreme. It's still quite tame, honestly, for violence in film today. One other minor preference I had was the reveal that Norman's mother had been dead for 10 years. I don't really have anything concrete to say why, but I just feel like the delivery and the acting flowed better in the remake than in the original.
And he didn't come back? He didn't see the mother?
Your detective told you he couldn't come right back because he was going to question Norman Bates's mother, right?
Yes.
Norman Bates's mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years.
I helped Norman pick out the dress she was buried in. Periwinkle blue.
He didn't come back? Didn't see the mother?
Your detective told you that he couldn't come back right away because he wanted to question Norman Bates's mother, is that right?
Yeah.
Norman Bates's mother has been dead and buried in Green Lawn Cemetery for the past 10 years.
I helped Norman pick out the dress she was buried in. Periwinkle blue.
So, the inevitable question now is, which version do I prefer? Did I like the original? Did I like the remake after having seen it first? Well, it probably doesn't come as a shock that I prefer the original. For me, the biggest difference between the two films is the portrayal of Norman Bates by Vince Vaughn and Anthony Perkins. And Perkins's performance is simply just much more compelling for me. The final act doesn't feel quite as punchy in the original, but I think the overall film is just better due to Perkins' acting. My ideal version of Psycho would be taking Perkins's performance and adding the more tense sequences from the remake, as well as the more explicit violence. I think the original is great. It's just a few filmmaking trends that have become dated since, and I think they benefit from a little facelift that the 1998 version gives it. So that's my thoughts on both versions of Psycho. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and drop a comment below what your thoughts are on the remake or the original. Was Psycho 1998 a complete waste of time? I personally don't think so. I think it's a great little experiment of a film. But if you think I'm wrong, let me know. Please do. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Oh.